Hello friends, I am Abhishek and I am your instructor for this course. I am a certified TOGAF enterprise architect with extensive and in-depth knowledge in this field. So this is all about me. Let's talk about the course. The course will take you on a journey where we'll discuss both theoretical as well as practical aspects of enterprise architecture. For me, I have only two goals. Goal number one, to assist you in passing your certification, and goal number two, to ensure a smooth transition into your new role as a competent and expert enterprise architect. And I am very much confident that we'll be able to achieve both of these objectives by the end of the course. Okay, during the course, I'll use some real-time artifacts and scenarios to explain every concept that you must know to stand out as a winner. So without any further ado, let's begin. Let's begin the course with a basic question. What is the enterprise architecture and how do you define it? So let me try to explain it with a simple example. First, who's the enterprise architect? So in a way, an enterprise architect is like the captain of a big ship who knows everything about it, starting from where the ship is going, the direction, the destination, how many passengers are onboarded, is there any weather warning, so on and so forth. Okay, the person should also be able to lead the team in case of any crisis. Okay, so in summary, the captain must be totally in charge of the vessel, the ship. The same applies to an enterprise architect. An enterprise architect is the person who will be responsible for overseeing, improving and upgrading enterprise services, software, hardware, infrastructure, network, everything. It is very important that the person understands the organization's current situation and the goals of the management on a broad level across all domains. Moreover, the person must possess the leadership skills required for team leadership. So this is a rough outline of enterprise architecture. However, I also want to give you a standard definition of it. So here you go. Enterprise architecture is a conceptual blueprint that defines the structure and operation of an organization. The intent of an enterprise architecture is to determine how an organization can most effectively achieve its current and future objective. Before we get into this in more detail, let me tell you the benefits that enterprise architects can bring to an organization. For me, basically there is only one benefit: business operational and cost efficiency, and all other benefits are derived or dependent on it. But however, let me list down all other benefits. The first one is lower business operation cost, more agile organization, business capabilities shared across the organization, lower change management cost, more flexible workforce, improve business productivity, reduce complexity, cost effectiveness, technology progression, better coordination in multiple vendor ecosystems, increase portability of applications, and the last one on the list is security and networking improvements. This long list tells how important an enterprise architecture or enterprise architect is for any organization. Now the next question is, what is TOGAF and how does it relate to enterprise architecture? What is the relationship between TOGAF and enterprise architecture? Before I explain it, I need to tell you what an architecture framework is. Please bear with me. You'll understand why I want to explain architecture framework first. Okay. So let me give you the definition of it. An architecture framework is a foundation structure or set of structures that can be used for developing a broad range of different architectures. It gives you a set of industry, technology or application specific building blocks that you can use to build your own organization specific architecture. In our context, architecture framework is a set of building blocks and a step-by-step guide for how to use them. Okay. Now the question is, why do we need a framework for enterprise architecture? The answer is very simple. In order to construct a house, one has to have a very general idea about how to do so, right? You need a blueprint and a basic design that you can customize based on your needs, right? For example, say the blueprint says every house must have a kitchen, every kitchen must have a sink, a bathroom, so on and so forth. So in short, there is a well-defined framework used when it comes to building a house, and you can use one of the many frameworks available, and then you can customize it as per your need. The same is true for enterprise architecture. You need a set of rules or guidelines, some industry or technology specific blueprints that can be used to design your own architecture model, and that is what we call the framework. Okay, now what are the benefits? There are many, but let me list some of them. This will simplify and speed up the architecture development process, since you don't have to start anything from scratch, something is already there. Okay, the second one is it also ensures that the architecture that you are coming up with is comprehensive. Okay, so you're not missing out on any important components, because sometimes when you are designing something big, you may forget a couple of things here and there, right? Because there are so many moving parts. So this makes sure that you cover everything. Okay, now coming back to TOGAF. Question is, what is TOGAF? Let's begin with its definition. TOGAF standard is an architectural framework. We have already discussed what an architecture framework is. It is a kind of a tool or a methodology for assisting in the acceptance, production, use and maintenance of enterprise architecture. It is based on an iterative process model supported by best practices and reusable set of existing architectural assets. Before we will discuss this in detail or more about TOGAF, let me briefly talk about TOGAF's history. Okay, TOGAF standard is developed and maintained by the Open Group Architecture Forum. The first version of the TOGAF standard was developed in 1995 and was based on the US Department of Defense Technical Architecture Framework of Information Management. That was the foundation, and from there we have many successive versions. Okay, the latest version that we have currently is TOGAF version 9.2. This is an upgrade on TOGAF 9.1. TOGAF 9 can be used for developing a broad range of different enterprise architectures, and one good thing about TOGAF is that this framework can be used with any other architecture frameworks. Okay, for your information, there are many other architecture frameworks. For example, we have PRISM architecture framework, we have something called ISA, Information System Architecture, Zachman, very famous, and there are many more. But of course, our focus is on TOGAF. Okay, since we are discussing architecture designing for enterprise architecture, it's very important that we understand what an enterprise is. Okay, we should be on the same page as far as definition of enterprise is concerned. Okay, the TOGAF standard defines an enterprise as any collection of organizations that has a common set of goals. This is very important. For example, an enterprise could be a single department or a whole corporation or a chain of many linked organizations by common ownership. But you have to remember one thing: the scope of enterprise architecture is not necessarily limited to the organization or to the enterprise only. Okay, you may have to consider many other entities like suppliers, vendors, customers. Okay, in case of an extended enterprise. So let me give you an example. Say you have an application that procures raw materials from suppliers. Okay, you are working for a manufacturing plant. Any changes or upgrade to the application must be coordinated and considered across all the suppliers. Okay, so the bottom line is the scope of enterprise architecture changes from organization to organization. You may have to focus on a particular unit or department in large organizations, and smaller organizations may require you to work end to end. Okay, so that's all. I hope I made your journey easy so far. In the next chapter, we'll discuss different architecture domains that the TOGAF standard covers. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next chapter.